Hello, I'm Alex Hare, and I welcome you to Australian Archives, a program of musical items featuring Australian artists of note and taken from the archives. Yes, welcome again to Australian Archives, and we begin this edition of our program with the George Cadman Quintet, supporting Helen Humes, recording at the ABC studios here in Melbourne, January 1965. And Lerner and Lowe's Almost Like Being in Love.
What a day this has been. What a rare mood I'm in. Now it's almost like being in love. With a smile on my face for the whole human race, it's almost like being in love. All the music and light seems to be like a bell that keeps ringing for me. And from the way that I feel when that bell starts to peal, I could swear I was falling. Yes, swear I was falling. It's almost like being in love. Now what a day this has been. What a rare, rare mood I'm in. It's almost like being in love. With a smile on my face for the whole human race. Yes, it's almost like being in love. All the music and light seems to be like a bell that keeps ringing for me. And from the way that I feel when that bell starts to peal, I could swear I was falling. Yes, swear I was falling. It's almost like being in love. A bell that keeps ringing for me. And from the way that I feel when that bell starts to peal, I could swear I was falling. Yes, swear I was falling. It's almost like being in love. It's almost like being in
very first sweet southern lullaby. That night, when the first pickaninny was born, all the stars were shining brighter than before. It was just like heaven on that Mississippi shore. That night, when the first pickaninny was born. That baby wasn't white, he was blacker than the night, from his head down to his toes. The southern grass so blue seemed to whisper howdy-do, and the moon said he's mighty like a rose. Cradled in the cotton by a southern breeze, Old Man River bore the tidings to the seven seas. That night, when the first pickaninny was born.
Marjorie Stediford, known as the Blonde Baritone, recording on the 15th of July 1935, when the first little pickaninny was born. And we began with the George Cadman Quintet, the singer Helen Humes, during one of her tours out here in Australia, recorded in January of 1965 at the ABC studios. Almost Like Being in Love was the item. Now to Sydney's Gus Mercy and his quintet. The vocalist Kathy Lloyd on this Manhattan recording, recorded in July 1953 in Sydney, Poor Butterfly.
Poor butterfly, neath the blossoms waving. Poor butterfly, for she loved him so. The moment pass into hours, the hours pass into years, and as she smiles through her tears, she murmurs low, the moon and I know that he'll be faithful. I'm sure he comes to me by and by. But if he don't come back, then I never sigh or cry. I just must die. Poor butterfly. But if he don't come back, then I never sigh or cry. I just must die. Poor butterfly.
Lover, when I'm near you and I hear you speak my name softly in my ear, you breathe a flame. Lover, when we're dancing, keep on glancing in my eyes till love's own entrancing music dies. Oh, love, my future is in you. You're every plan I design. Promise you'll always continue to be mine. Lover, please be tender when your tender fears depart. Lover, I surrender to my heart. Love, my future is in you. You're every plan I design. Promise you'll always continue to be mine. Lover, please be tender when your tender fears depart. Lover, I surrender to my heart.
Jack O'Leary it was, with Bruce Clark's orchestra, recording for the Planet label and produced by Bob King Crawford in October 1956, Rodgers and Hart's Lover. And prior to that, Gus Mersey's quintet with Kathy Lloyd, recording in July 1953 in Sydney for the Old Manhattan label and Poor Butterfly.
that as you saw me go, I was singing this song. We'll meet again, don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. Let's say goodbye with a smile, dear, just for a while, dear, we must part. Don't let the parting upset you, I'll not forget you, sweetheart. We'll meet again, don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. Keep smiling through, just like you always do, till the blue skies drive the dark clouds far away. So will you please say hello to the folks that I know? Tell them I won't be long. They'll be happy to know that as you saw me go, I was singing this song. We'll meet again, don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day.
Dorothy Baker, well known, of course, from IMT days, and she was known as Australia's Vera Lynn. We'll Meet Again, recorded in the 1960s. And prior to that, Joe Watson's Green Mill Orchestra from November 1929, and the old Embassy 78 label, You're the Cream in My Coffee. Now to July 1936, the Jim Davidson New Palais Royal Orchestra, Alice Smith and Dick Cranbourne combining on These Foolish Things Remind Me of You.
lipstick's traces, an airline ticket to romantic places, and still my heart has wings. These foolish things remind me of you.
A tinkling piano in the next apartment, those stumbling words that told you what my heart meant, a fairground's painted swing. These foolish things remind me of you.
You came, you saw, you conquered me. When you did that to me, I somehow knew that this had to be.
The winds of March that make my heart a dancer, a telephone that rings, but who's to answer?
Oh, how the ghost of you clings These foolish things remind me of you.
Yes, wonderful indeed. These foolish things remind me of you. Jim Davidson's new Palais Royal Orchestra from July 1936 for the old Regal Zonophone label. And we wrap up this edition of Australian Archives with Cy Watts and his Jazzmen for the Jazz Art label in Melbourne on February 1950, I should say. And it's Oh by Jingo, Oh by G, an old tune written by Harry von Tilzer. Nice old timer there. Oh by Jingo, Oh by G. Cy Watts and his Jazzmen from 1950, rounding out this edition of Australian Archives. Australian Archives was conceived, prepared and produced by Alex Hare for Golden Days Radio. Thanks for listening and bye for now.